Carriers have started inserting absolute AI exclusions into E&O policies, and the timing of when you check the exclusion language matters more than the language itself. If you bind a policy with a broad AI exclusion and then use AI tools in your client work, note summaries, session recaps, anything that touches the client deliverable, the policy is theater. It looks like coverage. It will not respond when there is a claim. The check has to happen before binding, not after the first incident. If you use AI in your practice, and at this point most coaches do, the exclusion check is the first move on every policy. Binding a policy with an absolute AI exclusion and then continuing to use AI in your work is not protection. It is the performance of protection. The premium is paid, the certificate is filed, the line item shows up in your annual review, and none of it responds when a client files. The check is not optional and the order matters. Check the exclusion language first, then decide whether to bind. Two carriers I can name as a production. Berkley and Hamilton have begun inserting absolute AI exclusions into their E&O policies. The list is growing, and by the time you watch this, it may include carriers I have not flagged here, so the check is not a one-time check against a fixed list. It is a check at every binding and every renewal. The more dangerous pattern is the renewal case. Some carriers add the AI exclusion at renewal without flagging the change in the policy summary. The endorsement is in the full document, but a quick read of the summary will miss it entirely. The structure of the exclusion language is consistent across carriers, even though the wording varies. Claims arising from or related to AI use are excluded from coverage, and three specific patterns show up. AI-assisted recommendations made to clients, AI-generated content delivered as part of professional services, AI tools used in the course of professional services, even when not visible to the client. The third pattern is the broadest one and the easiest to walk into without noticing. If your transcription tool feeds your session notes, the AI tool is in the chain of the work product even if the client never sees it. Most AI use I see in coaching falls into a handful of common categories. Note summarization at the end of a session, drafting progress notes between sessions, generating recommendation drafts the coach then edits, pattern identification across a client's themes. None of those uses look dangerous on the surface. They look like productivity tools. But if any output reaches the client and the client later alleges the recommendation caused harm, the carrier traces the claim back to the AI-assisted step in the work product. The exclusion does not require the AI tool to be the direct source of harm. It only requires the tool to be in the chain. The ICF 2025 code added a disclosure duty around AI use, and I see coaches assuming the disclosure obligation also closes the insurance gap. It does not. Standard 2.5 says you disclose AI use to your clients. That is an ethics obligation between you and the client. The insurance exclusion is a contract between you and your carrier. They operate in parallel. Disclosing AI use does not make the exclusion go away. Carrying a non-excluding policy does not make the disclosure go away. Two separate problems, two separate fixes, and both have to be done. The ethics duty does not cure the coverage gap. Here is the four-step verification protocol, and it works on any policy whether you are binding new or reviewing an existing one. Step 1. Open your declarations page and find the exclusion section. Step 2. Search the exclusions text for the specific terms. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, automated systems, algorithm-based recommendations. Step 3. If any of those terms appear, Pull the full endorsement document, not the summary. The scope varies from narrow exclusions that only apply to autonomous AI decisions to broad exclusions that reach any AI assistance. Step 4. If the language is unclear or absent, the next move is the broker call. The broker question is one specific sentence, and I want you to use it word for word. Does this policy have any exclusion related to AI-assisted professional services? And if so, what is the full scope? That is the question. The full scope part is what stops the broker from giving you a one-line reassurance. They have to walk you through whether the exclusion is narrow or broad, whether it applies to outputs delivered to clients or to any AI in the chain, whether it applies to tools you currently use. A broker who cannot answer that question with specifics is not the broker for this binding decision. If you find a broad AI exclusion in your current policy, 3 options exist, and you choose based on what your practice actually requires. Option 1. Stop using AI in any client-facing work. That stops the trigger, but probably is not your preference if AI tools are already in your workflow. Option 2. Restructure how you use AI so it is never in the direct path of the client deliverable. The broker can help you scope this, but it requires real changes in how you work. Option 3. Switch carriers to one with a narrow exclusion or with no exclusion yet. The switch costs you the time to requote, not money in the long run. 2 specific actions before you close this video. Pull your current E&O declarations page right now and run the 4-step search through the exclusion section. If you have not bound a policy yet and you are shopping new coverage, add one specific request to your broker call. Walk me through the AI exclusion language, the full endorsement, and not the summary. Make the AI exclusion check a standard line item on every binding, every renewal, every annual review of the policy. The check becomes free once it is on the calendar. The cost shows up only when it is not.